college basketball show. We're live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, giving you the best college basketball breakdowns and best bets. Live with your favorite cappers, Alpha Dog Bets, Slam the Bookie, Hefe Picks, and Big Brain Bets. Let's cash with the boys. Tune in and subscribe.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Rim. I'm Hefe Picks. I got Alpha Dog with me. I got BBB with me. Fellas, how we doing?
Boys, it is game day. There's nothing else I could say. It is Rutgers season on the line against Notre Dame. I'm excited, boys. BBB, how we doing?
I'm pumped. Like we said yesterday, we finally got March Madness. It's here. It's the playing games, but as we saw yesterday, they matter. Teams are going home. Team seasons ended yesterday, and Rutgers got that opportunity to send someone home already today. So I'm excited. I know Alpha is beyond excited. F.A., how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. Like I said, we already saw two tournament teams go home yesterday. Indiana moving on, and I'm blanking out. Texas Southern is moving on. And in the NIT, we saw basically the veteran smaller schools showed that they care about this, and the kind of young, bigger schools showed that they don't. So we'll see if that translates into today. But before we get anything started, as always, support for Off the Rim is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle, the Performance Package. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code ATSSPOT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code ATSSPOT at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, fellas, 4 million men is how many clean balls worldwide, BBB?
About 8 billion.
Something like that, baby.
Not billion. I don't know how 4 million turns into 8 billion. Not every guy.
There's a lot of balls out there, Alpha. So many balls. They need to be shaved.
True that.
All right, guys. Well, without further ado, let's hop right into it with the NIT tournament. We're going to start with a couple NIT games. Then we're going to get into the big playing games. We'll have Alpha yell at us why Rutgers is going to win the championship. And then we'll do some fun bracket questions. Guys, as a reminder, tomorrow is Off the Rim's humongous bracketology show. We will announce the time at some point today, but we're going to go through the whole round one, both days, Thursday and Friday, and we're going to go through every single game. It's going to be a blast. We're going to give out our Sweet 16, our Final Four, our championship picks. We're going to do all that tomorrow. It's going to be Off the Rim's bracketology show. Check out our Twitters. We will announce that at some point today as to what time that'll be tomorrow, guys. But let's get into the NIT. Dayton-Toledo. This is probably my favorite NIT game of the night. This is probably the last night that anybody will care about the NIT, to be totally honest with you. Yeah. But this is an interesting game. Toledo is the number one, ended the season as the number one against the spread team in the nation. And then they go out and absolutely embarrass themselves against the spread in a game against Akron. I believe they only won by 1. And then the next day, they lose in their conference tournament. They don't even make the NCAA tournament as the best against the spread team in the nation. Alpha, do you see regression on this side, or do you see them just like whatever they had earlier in the year, they lost it?
For me, it's more about Dayton in this matchup. Dayton, to me, they were rated the number one team out. So if any teams in the NCAA tournament did drop out, they would have been the first replacement, which means they were the 69th team in the field, unfortunately, so they didn't get in. Toledo's played well all year, but they do play in the MAC. They don't have the greatest strength of schedule. And Dayton's a very good defensive team. They've held teams to a lot of low-scoring totals. And Toledo has not been playing well. In their tournament, they barely won by 1 point when they were 17-point favorites in the first round. And then they go out and lose in the second round. So they're not on top of their game. I think they're disappointed. They're not going to be in the tournament. Give me Dayton in this spot. I think Dayton takes this one pretty easily over a disappointed team that feels like they should be in the tournament with Toledo. So give me Dayton plus the 1.5. BBB, what are you looking at?
I get what you're saying there. I think this is a tough one because I think it goes both ways with Dayton, kind of choking their opportunity there. They were like for sure pretty much in the tournament. All they had to do was win that last game. People thought they were in without it. And then, they kind of melted at the end, and Richmond got in, stole their bid, and they ended up on the outside looking in. And who knew that game decided it for them, because they thought they were in. And I'm sure that they're deflated after that. Toledo was kind of almost a similar thing there. And, But I don't know. I kind of agree with you. I think it's Dayton here, but at the same time, Toledo's been a screamer. They just had a bad tournament. So does the smaller school, they're both kind of small schools, do they come out and try to, redeem themselves? Because I don't know. The NIT screams Toledo,
Yes,
winner.
I agree with you
I
there.
mean, that's what it screams for the NIT. I think I'm going to go with Toledo here.
I think Shoemate, we all know Shoemate's the key factor for Toledo, but his shot's not been falling. So if he doesn't get it going, they're in a lot of trouble. If he could regain his form, they have a shot tonight, I think, for sure. Hefe, what do you like in this one?
I'm going with Toledo here, man. I'm not going to question it. I think this is listen, when you start the season as hot as they did and you end it the way that they did, which was just on like a team on fire in a bad way, like just terrible chaos, not being able, going from the best cover team in the country to barely winning to losing. I think they got to prove it to themselves here. And, these smaller schools, the NIT matters to them. Let's look back at last night. Let's take the last game of the night, Colorado versus St. Bonaventure. You could just tell from the tip. Colorado could not give a crap about this game. Win, lose, their season was over in the Pac-12 tournament. They could not give a crap about the NIT. And St. Bonaventure came out acting the totally opposite way, that they absolutely care. They have a team full of seniors who they want to keep playing together. Colorado, they were looking at the slopes, baby. They want to go skiing. So, and that translates over to today where
100%.
In this game, you have two small schools. Both these teams care. I'm going with the better team here. I'm not even going to question it. Toledo money line, -125.
I think you're going to see a trend. If you watch this show, guys, you'll see a lot of trends that we like to go over. And one of the trends we've all been talking about is the bigger schools in the NIT. Do they care for these big enough spreads to cover? I think last night we got a good taste of that with Texas A&M versus Alcorn State. And more to come over in some of the bigger spreads that we have today, though. But I think you guys will see a trend with us with some of these lines. Hefe, let's jump into the second game we have on the slate. We have Mississippi versus Virginia, and Virginia is getting 3 points. Hefe, how about you take this one? What do you think?
So this is your weird. Both these teams are power conference teams. They're both big schools. They both probably don't give a crap. So so at this one, I kind of have to break it down to who has the better talent on the court, and I'm going with Virginia, man. I've seen some things of them. They're a slower paced team. They've always played like that under Tony Bennett. Yes, Tony Bennett. They've always played like that under Tony Bennett. You want to know the only reason why I was struggling on his name is because today's the 5-year anniversary of when Virginia lost in the first round to UMBC as the 16-1 seed. So I was just watching that video the other day. But yeah, Virginia, you know exactly what you're going to get. Slow pace. They don't make mistakes. They don't score a lot of points. And they make things boring for you. They're one of the most boring teams to play. Because of that, I think that they win this game today. I'm going to take them on the -2.5 here that I see on DraftKings. And I'm purely playing this off of pace of play of Virginia. They're playing at home as well. And the fact that both of these teams probably are going to be, in terms of competitive levels, at the same place.
For sure. I'm taking a different approach on this one, guys. I love taking unders in Virginia games. If Kihei Clark isn't hitting on most of his threes, they do not cover the over a lot. Virginia is one of those teams that they completely disrupt your offensive game plan. They make you fully slow down, and when they get the ball, they use 25 to 30 seconds on the entire shot clock every single possession. So they grind games out, and their unders hit at a very high rate. Give me the under tonight. The current line is sitting at 122.5, so I'll buy it up to 123. Definitely one of my favorite plays in the NIT tonight, the Mississippi-Virginia under. BBB, what do you like?
I'm right there with you, Alpha. I already love Virginia unders, and in a game when two teams probably don't care about being here, the unders even more in play for me. I'm seeing it at 123 flat on DraftKings right now, so I'm sure we'll both take that line. I think Alpha, you already broke it down pretty good.
Love it. Hefe, what are you liking?
I just went over this one. Hello. Welcome to Off the Rim.
Forgot to intro the game first. We do have Wake Forest, guys. There's another team that gets snubbed. Coming in 23-9, they were one of the best teams in the ACC. I kind of thought they had a shot at the tournament. A lot of people didn't, though, which was surprising. BBB, what do you like in the matchup?
Yeah, this is one where Wake Forest 100%. They were right on the bubble as well.
I can't believe they didn't make it.
They weren't even first 4 out. Like maybe they were 4, but they weren't first 3. They weren't even really getting a look.
They had a great record. Now I get it. The ACC wasn't like that. What? They didn't have a great record.
They had a great record of a
Yeah,
great
and I get it because you could make the case that other than Duke, the ACC barely ever
The
had
ACC
a
had a
ranked
really
team.
bad year.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't know if they had a ranked team other than Duke the entire year. Maybe Wake Forest was ranked at one. I don't know. I know North Carolina wasn't. Virginia Tech probably not.
No, Virginia Tech wasn't that great this year until they had this hot run.
So guys, this is exactly what we were talking about. This is your situation. Wake Forest, great season. They go into the ACC tournament and they lose they lose when they shouldn't have. They think they're going to make the NCAA tournament still at large, and they don't. Towson never probably thought they had a chance unless they won the conference tournament. Wake Forest couldn't be probably more pissed they're playing in the NIT. Towson excited to play. You're giving me 8 points with a smaller team versus a bigger team here. I'm going right with the Trent Alpha. I think me and you were thinking the same thing. I'm going with Towson +8.
Yep, 100%. Same trend I'm going to be going with all day, guys. A lot of these smaller teams, like we said earlier with Alcorn State versus A&M yesterday, what was it, a 19-point spread that one closed at? Alcorn State was leading at the half against Texas A&M. So you see where their head's at right away. Wake Forest was 16-2 at home. Let me repeat that. 16-2 in the ACC, 23-9, and they're overlooked. But maybe there's a reason for it. People were calling for them to be frauds all year. The ACC was weak, and Towson has played good, close games all year. Towson +8 to the bank.
Yeah, and this one I'm kind of going against our system here because this is a perfect one for it. But at the same time, Wake Forest just had their best basketball season that they've ever had. And they also, they have about 5 seniors. I don't know if they want to, send them off with that. He's coming out for this first game. If they get down early, I definitely could see them kind of throwing in the towel here, though. So definitely just a lean for me. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Wake Forest come out and try to end season on a high note. So lean Wake Forest on this one.
I feel. Let's look at the chat, guys. We got Zach Betts in here. Thank you for showing up, my man. We got Bowman. Shout out Bowman, man.
Bowman.
Always showing love. Slam decides to not be on the show, but is literally probably spamming our entire chat. Thanks, Slam, for watching. Yes. Drive safe. Guys, before we move into the 2 playing games, Bryan versus Wright State is 16 seeds, and no introduction for the other one with Rutgers and Notre Dame as the 11 seeds. Let me reset the room and tell you guys why we get to be here today. We are here today because of Manscaped. The Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped has arrived, and oh man, guys, it's a game changer. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all 5 of these things in. That's 6 pieces in this bundle, guys. You can't afford to not have it. As a group of people who are going to be in Las Vegas in a couple days to watch the tournament, I know I got to get my Manscaped thing on because I got to be ready and in pool party season, if you know what I mean. It's time to take care of yourself. So go to manscaped.com and get 20% off, free shipping with the code you see in front of you right now. That's 20% off and free shipping with ATS Spot. Gentlemen,
it's time.
Let's start over the 16 seeds, guys. Start with 16 seeds. Let's wait till the end for the big one. Bryant Wright State. Bryant has they're the dog, right? I'm reading this right. Yeah, Bryant is a +3 dog. Bryant has a player by the name of Peter Kiss, who Alpha is just in love with. Do you want to tell us why?
Well, he is a transfer from the University of Rutgers. He was a bench player for Rutgers the last couple of years, and he went over to Bryant and has absolutely been tearing it up. There is an issue with Peter Kiss that I'm not sure anyone who's seen him play and his game style, they do understand. That dude talks so much shit that it's an issue. He led his conference in points per game by, I believe, 6 or 7 points, and he still didn't get Conference Player of the Year. He's the best player ever in that conference, but how much he shows up his opponents. He does push-ups after layups on the court. He just shows people up all the time, but that's what gives him his edge. So Peter Kiss is a very fun player to watch, but definitely somebody who can't go to the next level. BBB, let's start off with this one. What are you liking in this matchup?
Yeah, guys, I like Bryant here. The line's moving already. I had this locked in at 3.5. I think it's down to 3, maybe even 2.5 in some spaces. So lock this in. This is one of these playing games that I like a lot. Like you said, Peter Kiss, one of my favorite guys to watch out there because he's so entertaining. He's he's a guy that it looks like he plays to try to make it on Barstool. Like he's trying to, he's trying to do anything to make people mad. And, he's not getting drafted. He's a guy that's playing for a summer league contract, basically.
I'm sorry. We have a comment here. It says Peter Kiss leading the nation in scoring?
It was back and forth between him and Keegan Murray, and he finished with 25.1 point per game. I believe that.
How old is Peter Kiss? People in here being like he's 30, he's 25.
I don't know.
There's no way he's 25 years old, is he?
I don't think he's 25, but he was on Rutgers for quite a few years. I think he utilized the COVID reasoning to get an extra grad transfer year, so he's probably like 23, 24.
He's definitely older.
I gotta look this up right now. Alpha, why don't you tell us who you're on?
I'm on the Peter Kiss Bryant Bulldogs here, guys. He's just so dynamic, and that team has been clicking on all cylinders. I don't know if you guys watched him in the championship game of their conference.
He's 24.
24. They absolutely blew him, and they were just electric. They were up, I believe, in that game like 42-18. When they're scoring and Peter Kiss is on, they're hitting threes from everybody because they start doubling Kiss, and that's when he gets dangerous and starts kicking the ball out. I think Bryant does take this one outright, but I will take it at the +3.
Guys, I love Bryant. I'm even willing to take it outright at a +135 money line. I will be safe though, and officially say I'm on the +3. Wright State 0-3 in tournament games. They've made it in the past. I believe they were a 15, maybe even a 14 seed last year. I think they were in it. But basically, they're 0-3. They never won a tournament game. So I'm gonna stick with the trend, man. I'm going with Bryant. I think they win this one outright, and I think it'll be fun to see Peter Kiss in the tournament. Who do they play? Who is there? Oh, bad matchup. They get Arizona. That sucks.
Yeah, whoever wins this one, it's probably the end of their tournament run here after this. But this should be some exciting TV. I don't know if you guys saw the championship game for Bryant, but they literally made a fight break out in the stands where the entire fan section had to be evacuated. I mean, Peter Kiss knows how to rile up a crowd. So this could be a fun game to watch, whether it's the basketball or the off the court drama.
who just said it? It's a great comment we just got from Numero Uno NEBW. Peter Kiss is the same age as Jason Tatum. Man, all that makes me think of is, oh my God, Jason Tatum is gonna be so good. He hasn't even his prime yet. All right, guys, it's time. I will say nothing now. I will actually mute my mic and just let Alpha scream.
Game day, boys. First, let me get the little thing here so it looks right. Hold on one second. Comments. Beautiful. Boys, we are here. Rutgers making the NCAA tournament for the second time in my life. As a 30-year-old Rutgers fan, it is a great day, and we are taking down the Fighting Irish. But there's a lot of reasons why. Rutgers has some guys in the tournament that other teams don't have in shooting. Types like Ron Harper, guys that can win you a game. And they have guys like Gio Baker and Cliff Omarui. They match up very well against Notre Dame. I cannot tell anybody to bet this game because I am the world's biggest Rutgers fan. I am letting you know that I am betting heavily on Rutgers in this matchup. But they match up perfectly with Notre Dame. It's a perfect spot for them to win this game and move on and play Saturday against Alabama. So give me Rutgers, guys. They're going to win this game. BBB, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I lean towards Rutgers here, but the spot I like even more in this is the first half under. I gave one out yesterday. They actually went 2-0. We talked about it on the show yesterday. Teams come out, timid, a lot of jitters. And I think that happens in this one too. Both these teams are good defensive teams. They have slow paces, especially Rutgers. Rutgers runs a slower pace, a lot of ISO ball, downing the shot clock. I think that we see this first half go under. It's sitting at 62.5 right now. And it's similar to the other game that we had yesterday with Indiana and Wyoming, where I don't know if there's going to be, 13 points in the first half, basically is what it felt like. That one cruised under, but I think we can get under this number. That's my favorite play in this game. I do lean Alpha's Rutgers.
Rutgers also has some bulletin board material. I don't know if a lot of guys remember, but back in 2010 when Rutgers had, I think it was 2012 actually, with Coach Rice, he threw balls at Rutgers players, and the head coach of Notre Dame, Mike Bray, at the time, told the governor of New Jersey to shut down the Rutgers men's basketball program, cancel the basketball team, and don't do it anymore. So bulletin board material, they didn't want us to play anymore. Now we're playing them in the tournament, still coached by Mike Bray. Revenge spot. Quadruple. If Slam was here, it'd be a quadruple revenge spot. Hefe, you're from New Jersey.
Well, I'm on Rutgers here, guys. I think they have the star power to get it done between Harper and Baker. Also, let's keep in. I have something that I don't think has been mentioned before. The Notre Dame coach is being linked as a possible new coach for Maryland. There's been a lot of rumors swirling that his time in Notre Dame it's done. Notre Dame has been relevant since freaking Pat Connaughton's been on the team. Yeah, I got that name. He was on Notre Dame, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that. Damn, I'm good at this.
Good.
I just so I think they have outside that outside noise kind of creeping in, and I think Rutgers is committed, they're determined, and they know they have what it takes. As long as they play their game, they will get this win tonight. Notre Dame has to play the perfect game. Rutgers just has to play their game, if that makes sense. I'm going Rutgers money line here.
If you guys look at each team how they faced off against the final top 50, Rutgers went 8-6 against the top 50, and Notre Dame went 2-8 against teams that finished in the top 50. So Notre Dame did not do well against good teams this year. They really beat the bad teams, and Rutgers did really well against the good teams and lost to the bad teams. So it's a perfect spot, I think, for Rutgers.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, that about does it for the NIT and the two playing games today. But don't move, because we're going to do two fun bracket questions for you before we get into our best bets of the night. We're going to start things off with who our favorite sleeper team is for the tournament. I'll just explain what that means. That's a team. It doesn't have to be a double-digit seed. It's just a team that's not a 1, a 2, a 3, or 4 that we think can make it to possibly the Elite Eight, the Final Four, or maybe even win a championship. I'll go first here, guys. I got two. They're both 11 seeds on opposite sides. Virginia Tech is my first one as an 11 seed, and Michigan is another one as an 11 seed on the opposite side. I kind of like Michigan's course through to get to the Sweet 16. If they beat number 6 Colorado State, and I know Colorado State has that. Oh my God, who's their main? Gotti, right?
I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
He's one of the best players. Yeah, he's one of the best players in the country.
21, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I know his last name starts with G, and I think it's Grotti, I think sounds
like that. Yeah.
Anyway, he's a great player. Kind of reminds me of like a Charles Barkley, just like a guy who can get the rebounds, but also has a little bit of handle. I'm telling you, man, he's actually one of the top prospects that Jonathan Ginvoy, the ESPN draft guy, is saying to watch out, that might have that explosive tournament, like kind of like a Johnny Juzang of last year. But I like Michigan. I like their front line. I like what they have down low. They're two big men.
Just so you know, Jones was just ruled out for tomorrow for Michigan, like 20 minutes ago.
Well, that's awesome. But I still think they have. Yes, David.
Don't
Roddy.
run to your bookies. Run to your bracket.
It's David Roddy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm still going with Michigan in that game. And I think if Tennessee beats Longwood, I think Michigan has a chance to beat Tennessee. And that's why I think that they're kind of my favorite sleeper team to make it to the Sweet 16 as a double-digit seed. If they did get that far, and the winner of Ohio State, Villanova, Delaware is who they would meet in the Sweet 16, they have a chance. That I don't think that's so crazy they could beat a Nova. So I really like their path to get to a Sweet 16 and even to an Elite Eight. That's my sleeper team.
I like it. So my sleeper team I'm going to go with, guys, is actually a 5 seed, but they're only a sleeper because I have them going all the way to the finals. So I have Iowa making my championship, guys. I think Iowa has a pretty clear path. They will only really be tested heavily by a team such as Kansas, but they could beat a team like Kansas. If you stop Akchabi, I always pronounce it wrong, Akchabi.
Oh, it's a tough one. Chabi, yeah. We know what you're talking about.
He's unbelievable, though. He's a fantastic player. But if you shut him down, that team is very stagnant on offense. I absolutely think Iowa can make a deep run. They're hitting their stride at the right time. We all know it's about the hottest team going into the tournament at the right time. And we all saw what they just did in the Big Ten tournament. They ran through it, and they're scoring some games of over 100 points per game. Give me Iowa. They have the offense to do it, and they can outpower teams.
In my opinion, Keegan Murray is probably the best player in the tournament.
He's the most interesting player in the tournament because he came out of nowhere. He was on the team last year. They had a guy like Luka Garza who was that team. They had Joe Wieskamp on Iowa last year. They had all these weapons. So Keegan Murray didn't have a high usage rate. They leave. Now it's his team, and he becomes one of the best players in the country. He's very interesting to me. To me, he's developing into an NBA first-round prospect, which a lot of people
He
didn't
absolutely
think
is. I mentioned this list from Jonathan Ginvoy, who is ESPN's draft guy, and he named the top 25 players in this draft, in this tournament, that if they have a good tournament would impact their draft status. Keegan Murray's number one. He has a good tournament, he's going to skyrocket into that top 5, where we have players like Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero, and of course Jabari Smith, who we won't be seeing.
All guys that have underperformed. All guys that have underperformed this year.
No. Jabari Smith's a product of the just possibly worst cast of characters you could ever put together around a star player. He deserves so much. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on Auburn. Oh my God! Don't get me started
on Banchero. You know how I feel about him. Him and Holmgren, I think about this.
You love him, don't you?
Holmgren looks good. I hate Banchero. I think he's lazy. You go to the finals of the ACC tournament. There's 6 minutes left in the game, and he doesn't have a rebound.
Banchero has other players to rely on. He does. He just does. Duke has other players.
Overrated.
Banchero spends half his season just getting rolled out on the sideline with cramps, drinking pickle juice.
All right. Whoa. BBB never gave a sleeper team, man.
Don't worry, I got you guys a sleeper. South Dakota State. They shoot the ball lights out. They play fast paced. They're one of the fastest paced teams in the nation. If they get hot, they can make a run here. They're in the Midwest, which I think is the weakest division. I think that, their path is not, they get fraud events. We talked about them yesterday. How about with them? I think they're one of the most fraudulent teams in the bracket. But they have 7 players that shoot over 40%. 2 of them shoot over 50% from 3. We've seen that in tournaments when teams just catch fire and are lighting it up, they can beat anybody. And I think, with a weaker bracket in the Midwest, we can see a lot of upsets in the other sides of the bracket to where, maybe their path clears up and we see them get a nice little route. So, I like them to get past Providence, and if the bracket falls in their favor, maybe they make a run.
All right, guys. Best round 1 upset. I'll go first here. This question is pretty straightforward, right? This is just the double-digit seed that you think has the best chance at beating a single-digit seed, an outright win. Throw out the spread, guys. I'm going with Vermont, number 13 seed over number 4 Arkansas. I have criteria in my mind of what it takes for a small team, a high seed, to beat a low seed big team, and Vermont checks it off. Let's go over this. Guys, quick question. Who's the best defensive rebounding team in the nation?
Rutgers.
It's Vermont, guys. Vermont is the answer. Vermont also has 2 players on their team who shoot over 40% from three-point range. They also are one of the best turnover teams in the country. What I mean by that is they only turn the ball over in 14% of their possessions, guys. That's top 5 in the nation. So what do we have here? We have the best rebounding team in the nation. We have a team that has 2 players who shoot over 40% from three-point range. We have a team that plays slow, and we have a team that barely ever turns over the ball. Put all that together, and you got a recipe for an upset. Number 13 Vermont has a great chance of beating number 4 Arkansas outright.
I like it. Guys, my pick on this one is Chattanooga taking out the beasts from the Big Ten in Illinois. I think Illinois is frauds, guys. I've thought it all year long that they're not a great team. If Kofi isn't eating up every rebound and guys like Plummer and Curbelo aren't hitting every 3, they're in some trouble. And I think we can see it against a good team like Chattanooga that's grindy, scrappy, and they're going to be physical, which is the way to beat a team like Illinois. Give me Chattanooga. I think they win this one outright. BBB, what do you like?
Man, for the hope of just Illinois fans, I hope that doesn't happen, just because
I hope it does.
They had the Cinderella of Loyola, and I've talked to some Illinois fans about this already too. If you haven't noticed, there could be an Illinois Loyola rematch in this bracket if everything falls into place, and that would just be some good watch TV. I kind of already gave you guys South Dakota State, so I'm going to give you a different angle on this one. It's not necessarily a first-round upset because South Dakota State would be my first-round upset as the big one there. But I like a sneaky spot here. Memphis in the second round, if they can get past Boise, I think they could be a matchup, give matchup problems to Gonzaga in the second round. Gonzaga, they have a decent bracket to where they don't have too much of a trouble if they can get through them. But I think Memphis, they're a young team, and they're playing with really nothing to lose once they get to Gonzaga. So I think they could come out and make a game there. I wouldn't be too shocked to see if Memphis pulls up the upset there and we see an early exit from Gonzaga.
Yeah, I would love for Memphis to beat Boise and Gonzaga should take care of Georgia State, because then we're going to get the matchup of Chet Holmgren versus Jalen Duran. Is it Jalen?
Yes.
And Jalen Duran reminds me of literally of a carbon copy of Bam Adebayo. I mean, just maybe like a couple of years younger and still raw talent, but the athleticism is there. The ability to have the ball in your hands and handle it a little bit and make good decisions, passes, and the athleticism. He might be more athletic than, but he is jumping on a trampoline. That man. To see him and Chet go at it, I think Gonzaga just has obviously the other players. You take those two out. Gonzaga still has Drew Timme. Gonzaga still has great guards. And Memphis, even though they have the number one high school recruit, Imani Bates, he hasn't been really playing that well.
Well, they're really young. They're a very young team, and that's why I think is Gonzaga the more experienced, better team? Yes, but can Memphis make this a game? Can Memphis? They have the talent. It's young talent, but can they show up on any given day and win this game? I think so. They're one of the teams that can do it, and we could see an early exit from Gonzaga if they can get that matchup.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we have best bets coming up. Before we do that, let's do one last shout out to our fantastic sponsors. And they are Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code you see in front of you right now. That's at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code ATSSPOT for 20% off and free shipping. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. The performance package includes waterproof trimmer. They reduce odor. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer helps reduce nicks, helps reduce the risk of ingrown hairs, and helps reduce the risk of grooming accidents. And BBB, how do we feel about grooming accidents?
We hate them.
We hate them. We hate them.
You ain't lying.
Best bets time, people. Alpha, go.
All right, guys. Best bets time. Geo Baker, Cliff Omarui, Rutgers style. First best bet of the night is going to be Rutgers money line, obviously. Second best bet of the night is going to be Bryant plus the 3. I think Bryant has a real chance to win this one outright, but I am going to take the 3 for some insurance. And my third favorite play is that under 123 in Mississippi State and Virginia. For a fourth best bet, I like Towson plus 8 against Wake Forest.
4-pack.
Similar, like I said earlier, about Texas A&M versus Alcorn State yesterday. These big-name schools don't really care about the NIT. We're going to take advantage of that with Towson. BBB, what do you like?
Yep, I got 3 for you guys today, kind of aligned with Alpha here. For the NIT, I like the under in the UVA Mississippi State game. And then throwing it over to the 2 playing games, I like Bryant plus 3. I like them to win outright that game, so maybe sprinkle a little on the money line. And then I am going with the first half under for Rutgers and Notre Dame in that one. Hefe, what you got?
Bryant plus 3, Rutgers money line, Toledo money line. Keeping it short, sweet, simple here, folks. Last PSA for me, everybody. Please be on the lookout for our announcement for our huge bracketology show tomorrow. Once again, we'll be going over every single round 1 game, all 32 of them on Thursday and Friday. That'll be tomorrow. We'll talk to you about fun stuff like our favorite sleepers, upsets, Sweet 16, Final 4, even who we think is going to win the championship game. Huge show. We want it to be interactive, so make sure that you guys all show up with your comments, questions, and it's going to be a blast, man. I'm super excited. Thank you for everybody for tuning in today. Thank you for Manscaped, as always, for sponsoring the show, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Just stay tuned for what time. Peace out.
Appreciate y'all.